You wear a halo made of light, but the cracks in the glow still bite. Perfect pose, perfect frame, hiding shadows in your name. Who's a mirror? Who's a mask? Which one's you when questions ask? Glass mirrors can't hold the weight of the truth you fabricate. You preach, you teach, but you're a riddle, broken more than those you belittle. Your words drip like sugar sweet. Every smile, rehearsed play. How much can you fake today? Who's the judge? Who's the clown? Which one's real when lights go down? Glass mirrors can't hold the weight of the truth you fabricate. You preach, you don't teach, but you're broken more than those you belittle. Broken more than those you belittle. Broken more than those you belittle. Glass mirrors can't hold the weight of the truth you fabricate. You preach, you teach, you're a riddle, broken more than those you belittle. Broken more than those you belittle.
'Your thumbnails brighter than the sun. Bet your filter's working overtime, hun. You say you're real, but you're AI made. Scripted tears for the mess you play. Mirror, mirror on the ring light, who's the fakest to the fight? Your comments full of you slayed, but baby, your crown's prepared. Clickbait queen in a plastic scene, faking the love, but it's all so mean. Watch my truth while you sell a lie. Drama's your drug and your vibe's so dry. Clickbait queen, bow down, alright. Your 15 minutes just ran out tonight. Squad goals with your dollar store crew. All teeth, no soul, it's really new. Your friendship's thinner than your lip line. Guess loyalty not worth the screen time. Behind the scenes a mask they slip, but the tea you spill don't even drip. You scream authentic, but I see through every little pixel. Who are you? Clickbait queen in a plastic scene, faking the love, but it's all so mean. Watch my truth while you sell a lie. Drama's your drug and your vibe's so dry. Clickbait queen, bow down, alright. Your 15 minutes just ran out tonight.
I slipped, yeah, I
fell. Drag my name through heaven, dragged it through hell. You hold on to the past like it's a lifeline, while you're out here scheming present day crimes. You're doing the most, yeah, pointing at me. Hoes got selective memory conveniently. You're fake like your lashes and running gold chains. I'm done with your circus, I'm done with your games. When will they move on? I'm asking again. How long can they cling to a 5-year sin? I'm standing tall, you're still stuck in rewind, blaming me for your dirt while you're losing your mind. When will they move on? I'm asking again. How long can they cling to a 5-year sin? I'm standing tall, you're still stuck in rewind, blaming me for your dirt while you're losing your mind. Call me out but can't call yourself. Hide behind screens like it's good for your health. Your lies stack higher than your Amazon carts, but the truth cuts sharper than a million darts. You act like saints, but your halos are cracked. Your mirrors are broken and that's just a fact. Throwing stones from your glass-built throne, but karma's a queen and she'll call you home. Click, click, the cameras roll. Talk trash, but it's taking its toll. Your mask slipping, truth is cold. Now the world sees what you sold. When will they move on? I'm asking again. How long can they cling to a 5-year sin? I'm standing tall, you're still stuck in rewind, blaming me for your dirt while you're losing your mind. When will they move on? I'm asking again. How long can they cling to a 5-year sin? I'm standing tall, you're still stuck in rewind, blaming me for your dirt while you're losing your mind. Yeah. 5 years back I slipped, yeah, I fell. Dragged my name through heaven, dragged it through hell. You hold on to the past like it's a lifeline, while you're out here scheming present day crimes. You're doing the most, yeah, pointing at me. Hoes got selective memory conveniently. You're fake like your lashes and running gold chains. I'm done with your circus, I'm done with your games. When will they move on? I'm
4 days a month he showed his face, called it love but left no
Sorry,
trace.
sometimes I just don't even know where to.
A ghost of a dad, not a man of grace. Now he's shouting like he's owed the space. 15 years, then he was gone. 15 years, where did it go wrong? Lost in the shadows where no one can see. A boy with a heart, now just a memory. He cries for the headlines, he screams for the blame, but he was never a father, just playing a game. He writes a story with a poison pen, cuts her down to build up his pretend. He wore the mask but not the skin, a father in name, not the heart within. Where is the truth buried deep? Where is the child the silence keeps? Lost in the shadows where no one can see. A boy with a heart, now just a memory. He cries for the headlines, he screams for the blame, but he was never a father, just playing a game.
Hey, how'd you guys like my new song? Yes, I wrote that tonight. So some of you guys are not going to like me tonight, and some of you guys are going to agree with me and love me. And those of you on the replay, you're going to love me too. All I need is 3 more minus subs, and we'll be at the 100 that I asked for. Woohoo! I told you guys I want to be down 100 since I was on this down path. So we have a lot to pack in an hour and a half. Yeah, I started losing subs all of a sudden, and it got to like 85. So then I'm like, let's go for 100. So now we're at like 97 down. So we're going for 3 more. So we need 3 more subscribers to unsubscribe. So I got to pick Phoenix up at the airport later. So that's why I'm kind of maybe sound like I'm rushing this. But I had a show planned until I watched this drunk man named Seth Rogers. So like I said, some of you may not like me tonight. But I'm going to start with Seth. Let me start by putting a disclaimer on this live. Actually, I won't start with Seth, but I got to put a disclaimer on this live. I am very bitter towards people like Seth, and I will explain why. I also understand that he is the father of a missing child. And in my opinion, as a mother, I think missing is worse than if you found out they were gone. Because missing, you're just left in this purgatory state. You just don't know. I could not even imagine if I don't know where my kids are for 5 minutes, I'm like paranoid. So I completely understand the emotional toll of having a missing child because you just don't know. So that's my disclaimer on this. I don't want to take away from the missing part in the things that I'm bitter about or the things that I say. So I just really have to make that clear. This has nothing to do, my anger or whatever has nothing to do with a child being missing. Hey, Kim, it's more of the father he was prior. Okay. That's where my issue is. Yes, I'm a mother of 3. That's where my anger and bitterness come from. Is the father he was prior to Sebastian going missing. I have listened to both sides of this for a long time. I personally think they're all fucking lunatics. I personally think they're all out of their fucking minds. Some worse than others. I believe in my heart that Katie and Chris, I used to think that they knew more. I did. Then I thought, no, they don't. But honestly, in my opinion, they're all fucking lowlifes. I don't care who's got money and who doesn't. They're just all lowlifes. So Chris, I'm sorry, not Chris. Actually, yeah, Chris. Chris was on a panel the other night. And on that panel, he was saying that no matter what, Seth is Sebastian's father. No matter what, Sebastian is still his son, meaning Seth. And that he would never take that away from him. He would work hard with him, work together with him. And that would never change because at the end of the day, he is the stepfather and Sebastian is the father. I have yet to hear Chris and Katie bash Seth the way Seth bashes them. For Seth to come out tonight on a live, drunk, talking to Chris and Katie was absolutely fucking vile. These are things that you talk about privately. These are not things that you bring on the internet because you need fucking attention. And that's what it felt like. It felt like this was all attention. Now, I haven't watched the dark side much lately because I've just been really busy. But Granny, I heard something about Granny, something with the RICO case. I don't remember what it was, but something came through, I think. If anyone could help me out on that. But I just find it odd that all of a sudden Seth goes live with this poor me, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I have not heard Chris or Katie bash Seth on a live. Maybe in the beginning they did, but I don't think they did. As much as I don't like Chris or his personality, I don't see him bashing Seth the way Seth bashes them. Seth says on tonight's live, why can't he talk to Katie? Because maybe she doesn't want to talk to you? Is that a problem? Chris is being a man and not allowing you to talk to her. I don't blame him. I wouldn't let her talk to you either. You also have to understand, Seth, you hang around with a bunch of felons and conspiracy theorists and people that will do anything and everything to make Katie and Chris the villains. They will do anything and everything to try to get out of owing money. So in Chris's mind, and again, I've never spoken to Chris, so don't get me wrong. I've never been on a panel with him. I've never spoken to him. I've never been in a room with him. So don't think that I have personal knowledge on this, because I don't. I'm just going by my education, my intuition, and how I feel, my feelings. So I really feel like Chris is afraid that Seth is trying to set her up, that Seth is afraid that, Chris is afraid that this is if he talks to her, it's nothing but a setup. If he talks to her, with the people that Seth hangs out with and runs with, that something is going to come of it. I mean, think about it. Who is Seth run with? A lot of people. A lot. And a lot of scammers that we know. He's in a RICO case. He actually signed a court document, the most ridiculous one I've ever seen, in the middle of his son going missing. And I think he was involved in another court case while his son is missing. I don't see Chris and Katie involved in a court case at all. In my heart of hearts, I truly believe that Chris is doing the right thing when it comes to having Katie keep quiet. And a lot of people look at that as, oh, that means he's guilty. No, it doesn't. It absolutely does not. What it means is that Chris spoke to an attorney, and an attorney told him, keep your fucking mouth shut. Say nothing. You're still a suspect. Say nothing. And again, looking at who Seth runs with and the people that he has associated himself with in close range, in close proximity, there's Bullhorn Betty, who's a felon, Nick, who's a felon, Brittney, who's a scammer, Nick, who's a scammer, Hong, who's a scammer, Dog, I don't know. This is who he has surrounded himself with. So I don't blame Chris or Katie for not wanting to talk to him. Hey, Kim, welcome, for not wanting to talk to him. I just don't. Now, for those of you that might come in late, let me preface what I said earlier. I don't like any of them. Not one of them. I am not picking a side for anyone because I truly don't like any of them. And I need to make that crystal clear because I don't. But I'm just giving you my feeling on the whole situation. Now, what I'm bitter about is someone like Seth. Seth, you saw your son 4 days a week, 4 days a month, if that. There was a time that Katie begged you to take him and you couldn't be bothered. So please don't sit here and act like you were such a wonderful father, because personally, I think you were a piece of shit father. That's my opinion. And maybe I'm just bitter from having a father. Let me rephrase that. I had a wonderful father. From having kids that have a father like that. Whenever something went down, he was the greatest father in the world. He loved his kids and blah, blah, blah. But when it came to paying bills, when it came to everyday life, he didn't have any fucking part of it. His idea was, well, I'll pay you more when I can. I'm talking about the twins' dad, not Brad. I can't pay you anymore. How can I live? I don't give a fuck. It's not my problem. Go get a better job. Things still have to get paid. I would have loved to have a break at some point, but I couldn't give him, he couldn't give me a break. And that's how you were, Seth. You were not a good father to Sebastian. You were a weekend dad that took him 4 times a month. So when I sit here and I see you, act like you were his best buddy and you did so much together, I bet you didn't even know who his doctor was. I bet you didn't even know anything about his life, because from what it sounded like, you didn't. It sounded like you didn't even accept the fact or work with the fact that he had autism. You would leave him in a hotel while you went to work. You couldn't hold down a job, which means all that support fell on Katie and Chris. But you don't think of that. You just want to be the perfect father now. From what I remember, don't quote me on this, but from what I remember is you never even went looking. You claimed you did, but from what I remember, you never even went looking. You expected other people to hand out flyers, which you didn't even have enough of. And I can't say what anybody's going to do in as far as a missing child. That's why I said I am going to refrain from speaking after the fact. I'm talking before he went missing. Because again, there is some, I really have animosity towards fathers like you. And it sickens me how you sit there and you don't like, all right, I'll give you an example. You were talking about an Amber Alert and you sat there crying in your drunk ass about, why didn't I get a notice about an Amber Alert with my own child? Seth, by now you should have looked up why. And that's because Amber Alerts, they have to have a car. An Amber Alert is only sent out when they have a car and a license plate. That's when an Amber Alert is sent out. You should know this 2 years later. But in my opinion, you just want to use that for sympathy from other people that never bothered to look up or know anything about the Amber Alert. And I see tons of people in your chat totally agreeing with you. And it just blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. I do not get how, I just don't get how you didn't know that by now. and you want to blame the police and you want to blame politics. And what does that have to do with you not going out there? What does that have to do with you? What does that have to do with anything about Sebastian missing? It doesn't. What does the police or an Amber Alert or anything have anything to do with you coming on live and telling Katie and Chris that you should be able to talk to them and blah, blah, blah? That was fucking disgusting. That was, I need attention. Please pick me, pick me, pick me. That's what that felt like, Seth. It really did. And you have all these people in your chat throwing money, which is fine, but throwing money at you saying, we're Sebastian's army, blah, blah, blah. Here's a note, Seth, and I want you to remember this. None of these people can do more than you. Can they assist and help? Absolutely. But nobody's going to fight for their child as much as a parent is. Just the way it is. You opening your mouth about going to the courts and doing this, and we need to boot the policeman. What do you want the cop to do? I know, and I hate to even say this, but it's true. Everybody thinks that their child is the most important thing in the world because they are to us. But the cops, our kids are just another kid. It's not special. That doesn't say that they're doing a bad job or anything, but it is what it is. These cops still looking for Summer Wells. These cops are dealing with kids missing and, fucked up kids and drugs and shootouts and everything on a daily basis. Your kid is not special in the eyes of the law. Your kid is just another kid. Another kid in Tennessee who went missing. If it was my kid, it would be the exact same thing. So I'm not saying this about Sebastian. I'm just saying in general. People expect the cops to put their kid as the most important thing in the world. They're not going to. They have a job. They have to protect every kid. And they have to, look into every kid and look into every case. So to sit there and say that, oh my God, this needs change and that needs to change and this needs change. Well, if you really believe that Katie and Chris did this, then politics don't need to change. They just need to find proof. It's been long enough, just like with Summer Wells. If there was proof out there, I think it would have been found already. Whether it would be clothing or something. But one thing I also saw in your chat, Seth, were a ton of conspiracy theories that you don't put an end to. I have seen Chris put an end to conspiracy theories. I don't see you. I think you actually join in the conspiracies. No. Cops are not involved on any personal level. They're not involved on they're just not. So I just don't get why Seth is the way he is about this. If Katie doesn't want to talk to you, she has that right. Assuming, and I'm just assuming Chris and Katie are innocent, I wouldn't talk to your ass either. Especially with the people you run with. Again, nobody should have a missing child. Nobody. But just like the whole J. Clue, Queen Bee thing, everyone wants to pick a side. You got people who support Queen Bee that think they can't support Seth, vice versa. Nobody has a fucking brain of their own anymore around here, and it's sad to see. Some of the comments that happened in Seth's stream, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. Hey, Zoots. I'm going to say the same thing that I said about Summer Wells. It's been 2 years. If there was any sort of proof, it would have been out there. Katie and Chris, but well, I know Katie. I can't say for sure Chris. Katie passed a lie detector. Katie has cooperated with the police. If they spoke to an attorney would tell them speak to no one, because all the cops need are a little tiny mistake, just one little tiny mistake, and all of a sudden you're sitting in jail for murder. The best thing they can do, and this goes for anybody who gets arrested, say nothing. Do not offer any information, even in a courtroom. And I've said this before, yes or no answers. Courtroom don't need explanations unless you're asked. Do not give anything else other than yes or no answers, or I plead the fifth, or I don't know. That's it. Or I don't remember. Those are the only things you should ever say on a stand. I use this example a lot as because it's just a great example. A lot of people thought Casey Anthony's father was guilty based on his reactions in the courtroom, that he didn't have a reaction and he didn't make, he was given yes or no answers. That is exactly what you're supposed to do. He acted exactly the way he was told to act, and that is exactly how you should act in a courtroom. You should, on a stand, you should never give facial expressions. You should never give explanations unless you're asked for it. And even when you're asked, you keep it quiet, you keep it short, you keep it brief. That's how lawyers tell you to act on a stand. A lot of people want to give long explanations. It's the worst thing you can do. So when I see Chris and Katie being quiet and not saying anything, there's a reason. They were probably told, keep your fucking mouth shut, or you could end up sitting in prison for this. Even if you're innocent, you can absolutely end up sitting in fucking prison. There's 20, 30,000 people across the United States that are innocent, that are sitting in prison. Some of them on death row. All because they sung like a bird and the jury didn't believe them because they were giving full explanations. Meanwhile, it turns out they actually were innocent. And they were just, trying to do the right thing and tell the whole truth. But that's not what you do. And that's what I see Chris and Katie doing. And maybe Chris is afraid that Katie's going to say something that someone's going to twist. And now all of a sudden the police are looking at her. Just like pleading the fifth. Pleading the fifth doesn't mean you're guilty. Pleading the fifth means you don't want to incriminate yourself. You don't want to say something that might get twisted around. You don't want to have an emotion that might get angry or that you just might get twisted. Because look at it here. There's so many fucking things that get twisted, which is another thing I was going to get into tonight, but I don't think I'm going to have the time. I know I'm not going to have the time. Look how clip channels twist shit. Clip channels take out context. Clip channels only clip what's juicy and what they want to play because it's juicy. Welcome to the world of YouTube. So I don't blame Katie for saying nothing. Katie doesn't owe the fucking internet a goddamn thing. Just like Seth doesn't. But Katie and Chris don't owe the internet an explanation. They don't owe the internet answers. They don't owe YouTube creators anything. The only person they need to answer to is the cops, the FBI, whoever. That's who they need to answer to. Somehow this community thinks, and this goes for Seth too. This isn't just Chris and Katie. But people think that Chris and Katie owe them an answer. Betty, I got news for you. Chris and Katie don't owe you jack shit. And like I've said, they have been doing the right thing by keeping their mouths shut. That dude, I agree with you. And what he showed me tonight is that he's not under any type of supervision. Nobody is teaching him the right way. If he listens to this live, he might get a clue. But you don't go on a live drunk as fuck, repeating the same thing over and over and over, and then throw your ex-wife in there and be like, Chris, why can't I talk to her? And why can't I speak about her son? And I don't know, Seth, but it shouldn't have been brought up on a fucking live, especially when you're wasted. Now, the flip side of this is assuming, and again, I'm just assuming Katie and Chris had nothing to do with this, okay? Let's just assume that. Just like I'll assume that Seth doesn't. Do you understand the guilt that that woman lives with every day that her son went missing under her watch? I couldn't even imagine that kind of guilt. I just couldn't even fucking imagine. I couldn't imagine being in a position where my kid went missing and I was in the same fucking house and it happened while I was home. That's a guilt that's like killing your kid in a car accident, even if it wasn't your fault. She will replay that over and over and over and over in her head until she's dead or until he's found. And now again, I'm going on the assumption that they had nothing to do with it. My personal feelings don't matter. My personal feelings I'm going to keep to myself. But just looking at it from the point of view that if Katie didn't have anything to do with it, think about that, Seth. And here you are on a live, bashing her, putting her down, you know, feeding off people's egos about Chris. Really, Seth? This is how much you respect her? The woman that has actually taken care of your kid every day of his life, except for 4 times a month. The woman that has dealt with school, that has dealt with doctors, that has dealt with, you know, his autism, just everything. Going to IEP meetings because you were like 2 hours away. I highly doubt you went to IEP meetings. So this is how you treat the woman who, again, assuming she had nothing to do with it, this is how you talk to her on a live? Mr. 4 times a month? Really, Chris? And all these people that support you, I think is sicker to begin with. This should not be a side thing. There is a missing child. There should not be a Chris and Katie side or a Seth side. And I hate to say it because, again, I don't like any of them, but I don't hear Chris bashing you, Seth, at least not publicly. I don't see Chris or Katie pulling the fuck shit that you do. I don't see Chris and Katie signing up for court other than the restraining order way back when. But I don't see them signing their name to some fucking bullshit RICO where people were dragged into court, had to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars. I don't see that happening from them. I don't see Katie bashing you in any capacity publicly. I don't see Chris bashing you in any capacity. None. But here you are acting like a drunk fool. Poor me, poor me. Again, you were a piece of shit father to begin with, Seth. Sorry, not sorry. When your child goes missing, doesn't all of a sudden make you a wonderful dad. You love the attention that you got from your son going missing. That was obvious. You told the whole world secrets about your son that nobody needed to know. You went on this, what are they called? Panel circuit. And each one, there was another lie. There was another, disparaging comment. There was stuff of, you bashed Seth. You bashed Chris. You bashed Katie. You bashed Sebastian. You told the world things that nobody needed to know. And try to make yourself like you were so much better of a father than you actually were. So again, my heart breaks for anybody that has a child missing. Anybody, even the Wells, even though they're fucked up. Nobody deserves to have a child missing, a child killed, anything. They just don't. So it doesn't matter how much I don't like you, or I don't like Chris and Katie, or I don't like the Wells. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you do have a missing son. But stop acting like you were a wonderful father for the last 15 years. Because honestly, maybe if you were a better dad, maybe you would have taken him a year ago and not put it on Chris and Katie. Maybe you would have taken him when he was younger. Because I got news for you. I went through a 6-year tumultuous custody fight. I didn't care if I had to sell my fucking body. Nobody was taking my child. Nobody. I went to jail twice over this. Nobody was taking my child. Come hella high water. 30 days in fucking jail for protecting my kid. You know what? I would do it again in a heartbeat. And they knew I would do it again. Next time it would have been a year. But I'm going to protect my kid. And I will do anything for my children. Walk over fucking water for them. That's what I would do. So the fact that, you barely held a job his entire life. I'm sure you didn't pay child support much. I'm sure you gave a lot of excuses. When you finally did get a steady job, that didn't last long. You don't take care of yourself. So you obviously probably don't take care of your kid. And this has nothing to do with love. You can love your child. You can absolutely love your child and still be a shit parent. I mean, it's just the way it is. I look at Brittney J. All right, that was bad. I shouldn't have said that. Hey, Alex, I shouldn't have said that, but that's how I feel. We do know what kind of dad he was. He saw the kid 4 times a month. And we do know that Katie and Chris had asked for Sebastian to go with him a year prior. He couldn't be bothered. No, you keep him for another year. Make sure you keep him for another year. So, again, a lot of my animosity is prior to Sebastian going missing. There is a lot after the fact that, once a child is missing, a child is missing. And nobody should have a child missing. So I just need to make that crystal clear. And I said it before, and that's why I'm saying it again. Child missing has got to be the worst, the absolute worst thing that could ever happen. He went to all his doctor's appointments with him. He had him the entire time Katie was a little bit. Yeah, when he was a baby. When he was a baby. When she was in the military, because he didn't work. He only started working 14 hours for like the last year, Sly. He didn't work most of it. So, anywho. Chris, I keep getting them confused. Maybe you guys missed it. You weren't here, but let me say this again. Chris going, I keep screwing up the names. Sebastian going missing has nothing to do with, Sebastian going missing has nothing to do with Seth's work schedule, has nothing to do assuming Chris and Katie are innocent, has nothing to do with Chris and Katie, just like Summer Wells. Summer Wells had shitty parents, but there's no proof that they did anything to their child. I feel the same way here. Until there's some kind of proof that Chris and Katie, like, I don't think Seth did anything either. There's a lot of people that want to say, oh, I believe Seth is guilty. I don't believe Seth had anything to do with it. I also don't think Chris and Katie had anything to do with it. But again, the guilt that Katie has to live with, assuming she's innocent, is huge. Absolutely huge. And yes, Seth took care of Sebastian when he was very young. Once they split up, he didn't. So, and that came from Seth's own mouth. Absolutely came from Seth's own mouth. That's not what I remember hearing from Chris chasing. Not at all. Maybe after a while they said that, but no. Chris came on the scene, did not say that. Well, did you hear him, Alex? He was drunk. He sounded dumb. Hey, Lizzie, he was saying things that were ridiculous. Oh. Now, while I have about 20 minutes left, I want to touch on another subject that I saw today that drove me fucking insane. And we'll come back to this tomorrow. Where I'll play, I'll play it and you guys will see what I'm talking about. But this was burning at me and I got to get this off my chest. When did this community become so many fucking sheep? I was sitting in Queen Bee's and I'm watching all of these people, Jay's a racist, Jay this, Jay that. What about Clue? Can someone tell me that? What about Clue? Why do these people have such a fucking problem with Jay, but they have no problem with Clue? Make it make sense. Just make it make sense. It's like everybody just jumps on this fucking bandwagon about Jay. And believe me, I'm no fucking Jay fan at all. I have never liked Jay. I have never followed Jay. I've never fucked with Jay. So I'm not sticking up for Jay, nor am I bashing Clue. But how can you sit there and act like Jay is so bad, and here you are throwing money to Clue? What Jay did and said was years ago. Absolute years ago. Chasing, that is true. Look it up. An Amber Alert needs a car to get an Amber Alert. I don't know if something has changed in Tennessee, but you need an Amber Alert. I mean, you need a car. I'll show you. Amber Alerts require law enforcement to confirm an abduction prior to issuing an alert. And they have never, they don't know that Sebastian was abducted. They've said that. Okay. There is enough descriptive information about the child, abductor, and or suspect's vehicle to believe an immediate broadcast alert will help. Hold on. Okay. What is the process for issuing an Amber Alert or other alerts when someone is reported missing? Hold on. All right, I thought that was a real answer. Hold on. All right. When are Amber Alerts used? Every state using a variation of the Amber Alert system in the U.S. Department of Justice has issued guidelines regarding when the Amber Alert system should be activated. The DOJ recommends that in order to issue an Amber Alert, the following conditions must be met. Local law enforcement has confirmed that an abduction has occurred. The abducted child must be at risk for serious bodily injury. There is sufficient descriptive information about the child, the abductor, or the abductor's vehicle, and the abducted child is under 18. Nobody has stated that either one of them were. I'm telling you, there used to be an abducted vehicle requirement. There was. Show me a Amber Alert that didn't have a car involved. Just show me one on your phone. When you get an Amber Alert, show me one where they don't describe a car, because I know here they do. Oh. But both Summer. All right, guys, I'm not going to fucking argue this with you. All right. I really don't give a fuck. But I'm telling you, Amber Alerts used to have a car that you had to have a vehicle. You had to describe a vehicle. That's how Amber Alerts started. That I can tell you. Maybe it's changed. Maybe Tennessee has changed. But tell me this. When did they confirm that Sebastian Rogers and Summer Wells were abducted? Because I don't remember any official notification that they were abducted. That's first. Second, if they don't know if they were abducted, how do they know they may be at risk for bodily harm, injury, or death? Tell me that. Because the Amber Alert didn't happen immediately. He didn't get the Amber Alert immediately. Okay, Joe Mother, I don't know who you are. I'm not going to respond to you or answer to you. If you want, you'll have to pay me. Thank you. But same thing with Summer. They didn't do an Amber Alert immediately, though, chasing. I don't believe they did. I don't think they put one out on her immediately. It has a lot to do with it. It absolutely has a lot to do with it. They did so. See, I don't remember. There you go. The first was an endangered child alert. That I remember. No, Love Bop is right. That I do remember the endangered child. They did not do an Amber Alert immediately. And she went missing. When did she go missing? Drama, a lot of people have accused him. What, are you kidding me? Many people have accused Seth. I think it's wrong, but many people have accused him. No, I remember the endangered one. That I remember. But yeah, it was a few days later when pressure was on them. They didn't get an immediate Amber Alert because there was no car. Okay. So, according to AI, you don't have to have a suspect vehicle for Amber, but law enforcement needs enough descriptive information to believe an immediate broadcast will help, which often includes a suspect or vehicle description. While not a strict requirement, Lacking a vehicle description can prevent the use of electronic highway signs and may impact the overall effectiveness of the alert. So there's that. But I really do remember from the movie about the Amber Alert. And when it first came out, you had to have a suspect vehicle. And every state is different. So something could have changed. And I just don't see where there was confirmation. Hold on. Here's Tennessee. All right. Tennessee has an Amber Alert, a Silver Alert, an Endangered Child Alert, an Endangered Young Adult Alert, and Missing Children List. Okay, in Tennessee, in order to issue an Amber Alert, person is 17 years or younger, the child is in imminent danger or bodily injury or death, and there's a description of the child, the abductor, or vehicle, and on a request from another state for activation, there's a direct and identified nexus to the state of Tennessee, and that information is conveyed to TBI at the time of the request. So there's that. Chasing, you may have missed the very beginning. Yeah, there's a movie on it. You may have missed the beginning of my live, but I stated clearly that how I felt about Seth as a missing child, and that nobody should have a missing child, but he was not, in my opinion, he was not a good dad prior. But that has nothing to do with having a missing child. So we don't have to agree on this. I think he has handled this fucked up. I think who he runs with is fucked up. And I think Katie and Chris are doing the right thing by keeping their fucking mouth shut. And what he did tonight on the live was fucking gross. Sorry, not sorry. It was gross. Why won't Chris talk to me? Why won't Katie talk to me? It was fucking disgusting. Handle this like a man. Don't handle this like a grifter, like you have to put this in the public. Nobody knows that Katie's not talking to you. Nobody knew that Chris won't allow Katie to talk to you, whatever. Nobody had to know that. Nobody. But why'd you have to put that out there? Why did you have to let everyone know how horrible Chris is for not allowing you to talk to Katie? It was fucking gross. There was no reason for it at all. At all. None whatsoever. So the fact that he did that was fucking disgusting. Stop exploiting your son or trying to get to Katie or trying to get out of what you owe in the RICO or all the other fuck shit you've done. Sorry, I think it's fucking gross. And again, I also think this picking sides is gross. They're all shit for shit. That's my opinion. I don't think any of them are good people. Just like I don't think anyone on the dark side is a good person. I think they're all fucking trash. I think Queen Bee is trash. I think Clue is trash. I think Jay is trash. I think Granny's trash. I think they're all fucking uneducated trash. Sorry, not sorry. Doesn't mean they're always wrong. Doesn't mean they're always right. I think Brittney is trash. I think other people are fucking morons. I don't pick a side. I'm not picking a side. But like lots of things can be true at the same time. But too many people here look at it from one angle and don't see the big picture. The big picture, they're all fucking trash. And it's like, you can't like one person because this one doesn't like that one. Or the people you support don't like this one. So then you have to follow. That's where the whole sheep thing came from. And it's fucking gross. That's very true, Amber. And it's just this whole community, like going back to what I said earlier. Brittney scammed the community for $8,000 to $10,000. Nobody's saying a fucking word. Everyone's like, oh my God, because Jay's a racist. So let's just forget that Brittney just scammed everybody for almost $10,000. But let's cry that Laura called CPS on someone 4 fucking years ago. But Brittney's getting sympathy left and right after she just fucking scammed a goddamn community. But, if you hate Clue or you hate Jay or you hate Granny, then it's perfectly okay that Brittney just fucking scammed everybody. Nobody's saying a word about it. She don't have a fucking lawyer. She ain't doing jack shit. She fucking lied to everybody. And you have all these people that are now sticking up for her because Jay's a racist. Well, Clue's been a racist for a long fucking time, and guess what? Nobody seems to care. Yes, we do, Chasing. Yes, we do. Her attorney isn't working on anything. She doesn't have an attorney. Somebody called her attorney. She doesn't have an attorney. Even Granny's fucking lawyer talked to him. He said he's not representing her in this. I mean, the proof is out there. He's not working on anything. She sent out a bunch of bullshit C&Ds. That's it. What would he possibly be working on? And the court's Chasing. If anything was being worked on, guess what? If anything was being worked on, she would shut the fuck up. Yeah, but you know what the sad part is, Chasing? I know what you're saying, but no, a lot of your subs probably donated to her as well. We all share subs. Everyone's got this mentality that we don't share subs. We do. Whether it be 5 subs, 50 subs, 1,000 subs, we all share subs. That's how everybody knows what's going on in everyone's chat. Because a good percentage of people in this chat probably speak to, go to other chats. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is. No, a lot of people don't. Look what happened with Yup. A lot of those people, we don't know who that is. We have no idea who that is. Yeah, but they didn't start the lawsuits drama. Big difference. Thank you, Alex. You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong, Alex. The lawyer's not working on anything. She had a lawyer to satisfy with bullshit C&Ds. That's it. That's all he was there for. She scammed for thousands. Now, what I personally think, they pushed it too far. That's a big problem. They pushed it too far. If they would have backed down a long time ago, if they would have, cut the shit a month ago, then none of this would have gotten as far as it did, where now Brittney thinks people are sticking up for her, when in reality, they just kind of hate the other side that much. But as long as Brittney believes that people are still sticking up for her, she's going to keep on going. She thinks she got away with it because now everybody's focused on Jay. I come back and Brittney's doing QB type grift for legal bullshit. I've channeled my disappointment by being grumpy at Britt. But the point is, she doesn't care, because as long as people are continuing to pay her and continuing to support her, she doesn't care. She absolutely would, Jamal. 100%. Lawyer would tell her, shut the fuck up. If she had a lawyer, she would have answered Granny's thing. And everyone knew that she wasn't representing her in Pennsylvania. Lesniak does that. And I said it from the beginning. When she talks about she's going after them for defamation. No, you're not, Brittney. You don't have that kind of money. You're just a fucking scammer and a liar. But so many people are like, oh, we'll wait, blah, blah, blah. Guys, she ain't doing shit. I stated that from day one. She has no attorney. Her lies about the attorney are fucking insane. Like, I went through it the other day, her lies on this attorney. Like, Brittney, no, that's not the way it works, honey. Sorry. I dealt with enough lawyers to know that's not the way this works. And how her people who are allegedly in true crime and know about true crime think that her stories add up. Her stories are the biggest bunch of bullshit I ever heard in my entire fucking life. Exactly, Jamal. 100%. And that's what I always said. Just connect the dots. Yeah, I said that even before the C&Ds went out. But those C&Ds were nothing more than her. Those C&Ds were nothing more than her showing everybody that she did something with the money. The brand donation bothers me a lot because I know that the night she showed all the incoming 3,000 and outgoing 3,000, she did not have Brenda's donation 1,500 included. Not only that, what happened with the mod saying that they gave her $7,000? Was that a lie? Do all of them just fucking lie? Because according to the mods, according to one of her mods, they gave her $7,000. So if you add that with the 3,000 plus 1,500, that's like what? 12,000? So you owe more than 8,000? Where's the 12,000, Brittney? You spent probably $100, $200 for the C&Ds. That's it. That's all you spent. You got fake fucking documents. You got total bullshit. Would be used for Pennsylvania attorney to answer GW. I have the proof, so I know it's true, unfortunately. What are you talking about? Decides to muddy the water. Take the emotion. Thank you, Jamal. Thank you. I completely fucking agree with that. Completely fucking agree. Too many people are on this sides thing. Too many people fucking you have to hate one side to like another side. You have to like another side to hate the other side. No. Oh, that's what she said. I will not conform. Now she denied that as well. She said, no, I never said that. Why would I say that? I never said that money would go. She denied it left and right. Why would I say it would go to a Pennsylvania attorney? She just denied that recently. But she did say that. Can you send it to me? Because like I said, she denied it. She denied it fucking 10 times over. Drama, she never paid an attorney. Why can't people get this through their heads? She didn't pay a fucking attorney shit. The attorney didn't rob her. The attorney was hired for bullshit C&Ds that he didn't even write. She wrote it, gave it to him. He signed his name, sent him out for X amount of dollars. That's it. She didn't give him any money. She's not working on anything. The lawyer's not working on anything. I don't know why people can't get this through their heads. He has nothing to be working on. Her receipts were fake. Her receipts were bullshit. No lawyer has 5 different fucking receipts. And she showed 5 different fucking receipts. Yeah, because I won't conform. She literally just denied that the other day. I mean, she was like, I would never. Drama, I 100% agree with you. But I have said that all along. They're all fucking trash. They're all fucking con artists. They're all fucking liars. But who listens to me? I've called out every single one of them forever. Nobody listens. They get 1,000, I get 100 people. People want to be fucking lied to. I've been saying this for years. Subs want to be lied to. Subs want to be played. Subs want to pay for someone to read your comment. That's what this community has come to. This has been proven over and over and over. I personally have proven this over and over and over. Read people's comments, you don't get super chats. Ignore your subs, you get super chats. Go to any single creator who sits there and reads the comments from non-members, you won't see super chats. People don't appreciate it. I've been saying this for fucking years. But be that person, be that creator that completely ignores the chat unless you super chat, they get the super chats. You don't believe me? Go take a look. Whether you're a big creator, small creator, doesn't matter. It's a fucking fucked up backwards mentality, but that's this community. There are so many things that I've called out forever ago that someone else will say it now. They're like, wow, really? I'm like, bitch, I said that fucking 2 months ago. Like, where have you been? So that's that. But we do know, Alex, come on, you've been in true crime long enough. You do know. I do know she does not have an attorney. I do know that. I do know that she did not get robbed for $8,000. That I do know. I do know this. We're not wrong. I understand what you're saying, but I'm not wrong. I know for a fact she does not have an attorney. For a fact. Not even a guess. It's a fact. She is lying like she lies about everything else. Like she lied about her attorney. Oh, I don't have time to go to court. That whole court debacle? Oh my God. Those are fake receipts, drama. Did you not see she had 5 different receipts? It's not him, it's her. She's lying to you. I don't know why people can't grasp it. It's not the lawyer. The lawyer doesn't know fucking anything about this shit. Brittney is the one lying. Everything she's saying about the lawyer, it's not even how lawyers work. Just like, oh, he was supposed to show up in court for me. No, he wasn't. What do you think? He's not going to call and fucking work it out? Like, or change the date? Like, give me a fucking break, Brittney. But as long as she knows that people believe her bullshit, it just keeps going. And she'll come out with even more and more bullshit. I would think that a lawyer calling another lawyer and that lawyer saying that they don't represent them, I think that's good enough proof. I think a couple of people calling the attorney and asking if they represent Brittney on other matters besides the C&Ds that was sent, and the lawyer says, no, I do not. I think that's proof. Just saying. They weren't sent certified. They weren't sent letters. They were sent 2 weeks late. I can't with people that think that what would this lawyer be working on? Let me ask you that. Tell me what this lawyer would be working on. He's not working on defamation because that would require money. And that would most likely require her to be in another state. He's not going after defamation. We already know he's not doing the ROs because she did that on her own. We already know the C&Ds are laughable. And he asked people to write back to them. He asked people to write back or to answer them and then didn't respond when they did answer. If that's not enough proof for you, you don't know anything about proof. That's enough proof for me. Especially when a lawyer doesn't even follow up on his own C&Ds. Exactly, Amber. I didn't come to this conclusion lightly. She already has an attorney in Pennsylvania for the RICO case. But see, here's the thing, though, Alex, and I think this is what a lot of people are missing. Granny wouldn't have even had a case in Pennsylvania if he was her attorney. Because if he was her attorney, he would have answered her lawyer when that came through. He would be in a courtroom fighting it when that came through. The fact that he ignored it and didn't say anything speaks fucking volumes. And I think that's the part that a lot of people on your end don't understand. It wouldn't have been a Pennsylvania case if he was her attorney, because he would have responded and he would have fought for it to be not in Pennsylvania, for it to be there. Because that's really up to a judge. I mean, Granny's lawyer didn't even know about this thing that Cletus found. And he's a lawyer in Pennsylvania and he didn't even know about it. So it's something that easily could have been fought by her attorney if that was the case. So that's why I'm saying I know that she doesn't have an attorney. You don't think Granny's lawyer knows who represents her in Pennsylvania? Granny's lawyer knows who represents Brittney in Pennsylvania. She's on the RICO case. And understand, there is no Pennsylvania case other than the RICO. That's the only Pennsylvania case that's in the courts right now. Which email did you send it to? I will not conform. Oh, no, she hired one for the C&Ds. She paid $200 for it. Which email did you send it to? Those C&Ds are a big joke. Big time joke. They were so sloppily put together. But I mean, think about it. What do you expect from somebody who files ROs against someone, doesn't show up for court, not only doesn't show up for court, but then shows up 2 minutes before court starts? Yeah, you really care about these ROs. Fucking idiot. The deadline was after they were allegedly sent. They were dated like the 10th. They received them like the 18th. Which email did you send it to? I got it. All right. Hold on.
Did you no favors in life at all? You want to?
All right. What the fuck? Oh, I fucking hate StreamYards. Can never fucking collect anything. Hold on. Hold on.
no favors in life at all. You want to talk about somebody that's never going to progress? Congratulations, bitch. You've plateaued, and that's where you're going to.
You guys can hear that, right?
Life at all. You want to talk about somebody that's never going to progress? Congratulations, bitch. You've plateaued, and that's where you're going to stay at. I don't care. Coffee crime. All right, y'all. I'm going. I'm getting off here. I got stuff I got to do in the morning. I appreciate all of y'all. Congratulations on your kids. Good job raising your babies. Don't let that bitch. I'm not. And thank you everybody for your support. Brenda Stapleton, are you here? If you're not, can you email me, please? PJ, thank you. Thank you to the mod, everybody. Look, if y'all want to go watch Stinson's live, I would suggest going to watch more of it. There's more that was said. I got to go to bed. I can't go, through this. Tisney, good to see you. I don't plan on doing this every day. Brenda Stapleton, I wanted to give you a shout out and tell you that I love you. And thank you so much. Tonight when I was going through my
She doesn't plan on doing this every day. Bull motherfucking shit. Bullshit. You see this right here. She got 15 of 15 of her yellow super chat goals. Yes, this bitch plans on doing this every motherfucking night. And I will tell you why. Because cha-ching, it's all about the money.
My receipts for my fund and stuff. I saw what the freak you did. Girl, I love you. Brenda, I cannot. You are a real OG. I appreciate you. I feel like thank you's not even enough, truly. Because
I agree with you, J Fox. Clue is very happy with her life, and there's no way that she is jealous in any way, shape, or form of this bitch right here on the screen. Just saying.
You very well probably are the one that just helped me with this response that I got in Pennsylvania. Because oh my God, thank you for the fundraiser. I didn't even I just saw that. I hope you don't think that I saw it and just never responded to you. I just have not checked my Gifts and Go in a hot minute. Thank you so much. And to everybody,
I haven't checked my Gifts and Go in a hot minute, you guys. But thank you so much for all the contributions that you have given me. Even though I have already said that I haven't asked for anything else, and then 45 minutes later, I asked for more. Yeah, so there you go.
the Gifts and Go is still going if anybody wants to help. It does not start over. Whoever said that is a lie. It is not a month-to-month thing. It is a one-time thing. But if anybody wants to contribute, I still can take all the help I can get because.
But yet it says monthly goal. Make that make sense.
I still have things going on with my attorney and with this shit in PA. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yeah, y'all have a good.
Awesome.
So yeah, Brittney, you did say that was going for Pennsylvania. Now, let me also say this, because this is also where I think there's a lot of confusion. There is no case in Pennsylvania. Granny didn't start a case against her. There is no case. Granny responded to her C&D. And in that response, it was if, and there's a big if you bring us to court, we're bringing it to Pennsylvania. That's what happened. Even Granny said this the other day. There is no case here. I didn't file anything here. I answered her. And that's all she did. She answered her thing. So it's fucking weird how now it's twisted that Granny has a case against her. Granny doesn't have a case against her at all. Yes, $1,500 was extra to go towards Pennsylvania attorney. But Brittney's not parting with any money. It's a ghost case. Exactly. That's what the RICO was. So I like drama. You're completely wrong. There is no case in Pennsylvania. When something is on the docket, then it's a case. There's nothing on the case. All they were saying was that if, and it's a big if Brittney follows through with the C&D and files a lawsuit, then it's coming to Pennsylvania. They're not fighting it in North Carolina. They're fighting it in Pennsylvania. That's all that was. So if Brittney doesn't file anything, either is Granny. It was a very smart move on Granny's end. Very smart. And if Brittney actually had an attorney, he would have fought for it to be there. He would have fought for it to be in North Carolina. It's just more of a reason that I know she doesn't have a fucking attorney. So there's that. But I have to go pick up my son from the airport. Let me just make sure his flight's on time. Hang on. He's all excited. He's like, I got free Wi-Fi. All right. Let's see. Oh, damn. No, PD. All right. Oh, he arrived early. All right, I gotta get out of here. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, he's landing 19 minutes early. I'm late. All right, I gotta go. Love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.